Hello, Burley Glenwood boys and girls. This is Friday's lesson for some of you and others of you, maybe some other day. Okay, so hopefully you have your Daily Common Core 15.5 up and you are ready to see some hints on it. So Mr. Park bought 4 pencil sharpeners. How many classrooms will get a sharpener if he puts 1 in each room? So 1 for this room, 1 for that room, 1 for that room, and 1 for this other room. So how many rooms are getting sharpeners? Number 2, how many grams are in 3 kilograms? So remember, if you don't have it memorized yet, that 1 kilogram is 1,000. Get your phone out, ask Siri, ask Google. They will help you look it up. Number 3, which quadrilateral has 4 equal sides but may not have any right angles? Please do not mark square, because a square has right angles. This other shape, sometimes it does, but sometimes it does not have right angles. So do not mark square. Number 4, there are 40 people in line for the Ferris wheel. Each car holds 4 people. If each car is full, how many cars are needed for everyone to ride? You want to do division. Or if you want to think multiplication, then it's 4 times what is 40? Okay, number 5, the best estimate for the mass of your math textbook is, you're either going to grab, oops, I have to make sure it's on the pointer. You're either going to grab the word gram. Oopsie, I think I got drag instead. Okay. You're either going to grab gram. Remember, you have to wait till it's a plus sign to move it over. Or you're going to grab kilogram. Got to make sure it's a plus sign, and then you can drag it over. Okay. So think back to the lessons I've done all week, and I've shown you different examples of what weighs about a gram compared to what weighs about a kilogram. You have to think, which one is my math book going to be similar to? Okay, number 6. I do have a little show work box there. Please show the work for it. With an area of 26 kilometers, Tuvalu is one of the world's smallest countries. Liechtenstein is 134 square kilometers larger than. What is Liechtenstein's area in square kilometers? So you want to take the Liechtenstein and you want to take the other guy. Remember, Liechtenstein is that much bigger than the other guy. So you're actually combining them. So show the work and type an answer in there. Okay, now let's go see the video.
In a juice factory, one 50-liter container had 28 liters of juice in it. An hour later, it had 45 liters of juice. How many liters of juice were added? What would be a good way to start to solve this problem?
So what do you think the first step is that you would use to solve this problem?
Draw a picture to show what you know. The juice container started with 28 liters of juice. An hour later, there were 45 liters of juice in the container. You know the total and one part. What is not known?
The other part.
The amount added is not known. How can the picture help solve the problem?
So when you see a diagram that's set up that way, does that make you think that you need to add, or does that make you think you need to subtract to find the missing amount?
The picture shows the total, one known part, and the part that is not known. We can write it like this. What is a way of finding the missing part? Subtract the part you know from the total, and you will find the unknown part. Subtract to solve the problem. How much did we add to 28 to get 45? We added 17 liters of juice to the container.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, please get your workspace mat out and follow along with me, or take some notes while I do it so that when you open your workspace mat up later, you know what to put in there. It says draw a picture to help you complete this task. The animals at the pet store eat 80 kilograms of vegetables each day. How many kilograms of vegetables do they eat in 1 week? So they want a diagram. Do we know the total? No, we do not know the total. So I'm going to come up here to my line tool. I'm going to select, well, let's try that guy, see what happens. Okay, I thought I selected a line. Line. There we go. Line. Now I want my line to be fatter, so I'm going to make sure I've got my pointer. I'm selecting my line, and then I'm going to make it fatter. There we go. That's a nice fat line. So I don't know the total. So what I'm going to start with is question mark. And that's kilograms of vegetables. I may adjust the size of my line later. Now I'm going to grab myself a rectangle, and I'm going to have a bunch of them for each day of the week. I think I'm going to make them a little bigger than that though. So there's for Monday, and I think I'm going to make it clear. Oh, I could go yellow. Now I'm going to see if it'll let me type in there, because it says they eat 80 kilograms of vegetables a day. Will it let me type in it? Oh, yay, it did. Okay. And I'm going to label that kg. Now I can use copy paste. So I need to count and see how many days there are in a week. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 7 days in a week, so I'm going to need to copy paste to make sure I have 7 of those. So Control C, and then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now I'm going to line them up. So remember, you got to wait till it turns into a plus. Otherwise, you're going to stretch them and they're all going to be funky. And I don't want them all funky. Okay, it's not quite going to fit. So I am going to move one of them over. So this guy's a little snug there. So I'm just going to use my arrow key to move him where I want him. Okay, good enough. Now, you notice my line's a little short now, so I'm going to make my line a little longer. Oopsie, I moved it on accident. Come on, I want to move you. Move it. Okay. Now, I can make an equation to go with it. So I'm going to grab that, Control C, Control V. I'm going to stretch this to make it bigger. So I know I have 80 kilograms of the food per day, and I need to think how many days of the week there were. There were 7 days. And then I need my equal sign. Equals how many kilograms of vegetables? My husband's interrupting me. I'm videotaping a math lesson. Okay, so I am going to let you finish multiplying that, but I do want you to remember that you can multiply the base fact. You can multiply the 7 times the 8 and then just put a 0 on the end. It is going to be a 3-digit number. So pause the video, take a moment to do that if you need to. Okay, number 1, Alex buys a box of pudding mix and a box of cocoa. Wonder what he's making. The mass of the box of pudding mix is 100 grams. Okay, so we have that. Mass of the box of pudding mix. The total mass of the 2 boxes is 550. So whatever the cocoa is and the pudding together is 550. What is the mass of the box of cocoa? So in the video, they did a problem very much like this. They had different numbers though. And the problem in the video, if we look up here, they solved it by subtracting. So we also want to use subtraction to find our missing number. So we're going to have 550 grams minus 100 grams equals grams. Okay, so I want you to finish solving that. That's a pretty nice and easy one. There's no borrowing required on that guy. Okay, number 2, I pre-drew some of the diagram for you because I thought it was a little bit confusing. So suppose the 45 liters of juice in the example above were evenly divided into 9 batches. So in this top box, please put 45 liters. Now we want to divide this bottom thing into 9 boxes. So 9's not going to divide evenly in half. I'm going to find my halfway point and then I'm going to go a little to the left and a little to the right. And now I'm going to start putting these other guys in. And they may be close, or it may be one of those where later I go, ooh, well, I'm off. Or it may not be too bad. I may be pretty close. Okay, that spot's a little too big. Oopsie, I grabbed the wrong thing. So I just gotta plop him over here. Okay, they're not perfect, but they're close enough. And now I gotta drag all these guys over. Oh, you put them behind. Okay, so I'm gonna come up here to the word arrange, order, bring to front. I'm gonna grab all these guys and tell them I want them on front because I don't want to have to move them all separately. So arrange, order, bring to front. And that's a skill that you can also use on your report that you're doing for your teachers. Okay, so I'm going to grab each of these and drag it on top. Oh, Brian's kitty cat is coughing in the other room. He's got asthma. Okay, so remember, as you're grabbing these, you're waiting for it to turn into a plus sign before you try to drag it. Otherwise, it's going to be grumpy with you. Okay, so I have my diagram drawn. Now I need to do this division equation. I'm going to start with my 45. And it says I divided it into 9 batches. So my next spot is a 9. Now you have to solve what is 45 divided by 9. There is that hand trick. I think it flips it when we're looking here. So do your hands so that your hands show 45. So mine show 45 for me right now. I don't know if when it gets flipped around, if it'll show 45 for you. And you have to think, what finger did you put down in order for that to work? And then we're going to label that liters. There we go. Okay, write and solve a problem that uses metric units of capacity and can be solved by drawing a picture. I'm going to pause the video and I'm going to go see if I can find a container that inspires me. So I will be right back. Pause recording. Okay, boys and girls, I am back. I went in my fridge and I found this creamer that I put in my coffee. And even though it says there's 16 servings, we're going to pretend there's 10 because that's easier to work with. So the container has, I don't know if it'll show, 500 milliliters. So we're going to start by introducing it. Mrs. Mears creamer comes in a 500 milliliter carton. If she divides it into 10 coffees, how many I don't think I'm spelling that right. Yeah, yep, there it goes. It's underlining it red. I spelled it wrong. Give me a suggestion. Oh, 2 L's. How many milliliters does she put in each coffee? Okay, so they want us to draw a diagram too. Well, what we did here is really close, so I am going to copy that. Control C, Control V. Now I got to be careful. Oh, I'm just going to use my arrow because if I try to grab it and drop it, then that's a pain in the patootie. So I'm going to grab that. Oopsie, bring it down. Stretch this. Chloe, stop. Alrighty, so it's not 45, it's 500, and it's milliliters. M-I-L-L-I, milliliters. Now remember, this was 9, and I needed to say 10, so I need to make one more of these. Oh, these all say liters. Bummer. So I'm going to take a moment and change these to ml. That'll just take me a second. Well, more than a second, probably 5 seconds per thingy. Oh. 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 Remember, you're welcome to make up your own little question. Okay, so this only had 9 sections and I need 10. So I'm going to move him off. Grab this guy. Control C, Control V. Put him about there. Scoot that guy over. Scoot this guy over. So my spacing's not perfect. And I usually like things just perfect, but I think we can live with them. With them. Oh, whoops, wrong thing. No, I'm just going to double check and make sure I have 10 sections because that would be terrible if I didn't. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So I'm going to copy this also. Control C, Control V, drag that down. So it wasn't 45, it was 500. It's not 9, it's 10. And it's not liters, it's milliliters. So I can think, I'm gonna do a little highlighting thing so it'll jump out at you. So highlighter? No, that's border. Where's highlighter? You highlighter? Ooh, you're highlighter. Okay, so that guy's gonna be blue and that guy is gonna be blue. Where'd it go? There we go, blue. So those match. They kind of like cancel each other out. So now I am simply thinking of what is 50 divided by 1, or 1 times what is 50. And hopefully you're thinking, oh, 50. That'd be a lot of liquid in each coffee, but it works for the problem. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, if you stop at the halfway mark, this is where you're stopping for the day. If you're like, oh, I'm going to do the whole thing with Mrs. Mears in one sitting, then keep going. Alrighty, up at the top, I made this problem so you could grab and drag. So Peter has divided 120 liters of water equally into 3 containers. How many liters has he poured into each container? So it's kind of like that last problem, but instead of 500, it's 120. And instead of 10 sections, they've only got 3. So we are going to make a division problem. So grab the 120, wait for it to be a plus, bring it down, grab the division, hello, there it goes, drag it down, oh well, put it back there, grab the 3, hello, turn into a plus sign, there we go, grab the equal sign, and grab our question mark. Now, hopefully you're like, oh, I know my answer is going to be 40 liters. Okay? So please make yours look like mine. Don't just write 40 liters. I want to see the work that goes with it too. Adela pours 235 milliliters of milk in a glass and 497 milliliters of milk in a bottle. How many milliliters of milk has she poured in all? So in all lets us know we are adding. So we need to take the 235 and we need to take the 497. That one's a lot. And you want to add them up. So you are going to have some regrouping that you're going to have to keep track of in your head, which is a little trickier than doing it on paper. And then make sure you answer that problem. I'm not going to show the answer on that one. Okay, for number 6 and 7, draw a picture to help solve the problem. I don't want to, but I will. Mr. Patel wants to pack 28 kilograms of potting soil into 4 boxes. He wants each box to have the same mass. How many kilograms of potting soil should he put in each box? So I am going to go over to where I have that number line. There we go. I'm going to grab this because that's a good starting point. Control C. Coming down here, Control V. Now I'm going to use my arrow key to move it. There we go. So I don't need all those things. That's way too many. It's not question mark kilogram. It is 28. And it's soil. And I don't need all of these. I only need 4 of them. So I'm going to get rid of 3 of them. Oopsie, that's 4 of them. Maybe I'll keep those 4 and get rid of these 3. Now, right now, I don't know how much is in each box. So I need to change these to question marks. And question mark is shift. And then it's the button right next to shift on the right-hand side. Okay, now I don't need that to be that long. So I'm gonna move these over and then I'm gonna shrink that line because that line's way too long. There we go. Now I'm gonna, I don't have to do it as division. Oh, there's a division sign I used. Okay, so I have 28. Leave some space, and then I have a 4 equal sign, and that's, oopsie, not pluses. There we go. And I'm going to move this up out of my way. There we go. And I'm going to bring that little division sign down that I gave you. There we go. So you have to solve that to find out how much each box is going to get in terms of potting soil. Lori bought a 500 milliliter carton of cream. Oh, that's the same size as mine. After using some of the cream, she had 245 milliliters left. How many milliliters of cream did she use? So you want to set that up as a subtraction problem. So you've got your 500 and you have your 245, and then you want to subtract and answer it. And I have no idea why I left that sitting there. I think that's from a previous problem. So let me move that out of the way. So once you have that, remember you do have to borrow or regroup on that last one. So keep track of that. Don't do 0 take away 4 is 4. That drives me nuts when kids do that. Okay, number, I don't know, but we're on the last page of it. Yay, and then we get to go see what's on the quick check. So for number 8 and 9, copy and complete the picture. You don't have to copy it, it's there for you. Number 8, Professor Newman has collected a soil sample from the forest preserve in her town. What is the total mass of the 2 minerals in her soil? So I put circles around the minerals so you'd know what they are. So you'll notice one of them is quartz, 141. You want to put that here. And the other one is calcite. You want to put that one here. And then you want to find the total. Don't forget to put a G at the end for grams. So after you figure out the answer, put a G down. Okay, number 9, the professor finds that there is the same amount of water in each of the samples she takes. If there are 210 milliliters of water in all, how many samples did she collect? So they are showing this diagram, and earlier in the year when we saw this diagram, it meant repeated subtraction. So we're going to start with 210 and take away 42. If you're like, I don't like repeated subtraction, hopefully you're thinking, oh, I could do it the opposite. I could do repeated addition until I get to 210. Personally, I like that one better. So I'm going to do repeated addition. So I'm going to do 42 plus 42, and I'm going to do it in sections. So 42 plus 42, that's 84. So I've done 2 of them. Now I'm going to copy, paste. Well, what's 84 plus 84? 4 plus 4 is 8. So I'd have an 8. And then 8 plus 8 is 16. So that'd be 168. I'm not to 210 yet. So I'm going to come over here and show that I did that 84 and 84. And we said that that was 168. So I'm not quite there. Let's add another 42 on and see what happens. So Control C, Control V. So let's take my 168 and let's add another 42 onto it. Okay, let's see what happens. 2 plus 8 is 0 because it's 10. Need to carry a 1. 6 plus 4 is 10 plus 1 more makes 11. I need to carry a 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. Okay, so now we have to count up how many 42s did we have? 1, 2, 3, 4. And this guy over here makes 5. So she collected 5 samples that each had 42 milliliters of water. I'm going to stretch that so that it doesn't take up as much room. Okay, so pause the video if you need a moment to copy that down. If you want to do it with repeated subtraction, you can show it with repeated subtraction, but I think that would be harder to show. Number 10, Donna has 6 first aid kits. Each kit is 8 kilograms. Which of these is the total mass of Donna's first aid kits? So please don't just circle something. Please show 6 times 8 equals, and then your answer. Number 11, Eric filled a container to the 20 milliliter mark. Okay, so I'm guessing it was filled to the 20 milliliter mark, or liters. The juice is now at the 15 liter mark. How many liters of juice has been poured out of it? Explain how you know. So we're going to start with 20. Take away what equals 15. We can think of that as 15 plus, that's not plus, plus what equals 20. I know that poured I do, if it's okay if you leave this guy blank, I do want you to fill in that one, okay? And then whatever you fill in here, is also going to go in this spot. Okay, so that's the end of the workspace map. So now we're going to scoodle-doodle on over to the quick check. So hopefully you're going to follow along and take some notes while I'm reading the questions. A container holds 64 liters of water. At noon, it was filled. By 1 p.m., there were 28 liters of water left in the container. How many liters of water were taken from the container? So this is like the one from the video where in order to solve it, they stack them, and if you're from Miss Hadelstadt's class, that means subtract. Okay, our next one. A whole grain English muffin has 5 grams of protein. How many grams of protein do 8 whole grain English muffins contain? This one is multiplication. So you want to multiply to find your answer. A carton of grapefruit juice contains 10 bottles, equally filled with juice. The carton holds 20 liters. How many liters does each bottle contain? Draw a picture to help you. Well, you don't really have to draw a picture. You could draw an equation though. You need to think 10 times what is 20, or 20 divided by 10 is what? And number 4, Michael has 6 barbells that each have a mass of 5 kilograms. So he has 6 of them. So you could count by 6 times. You want the total mass. So count by 6 times. Last but not least, Nancy's bag of flour has a mass of 960 grams. It weighs less than my container of flour. She uses 720 grams of flour to bake cupcakes. What is the mass of the bag after she bakes the cupcakes? Draw a picture to help you. You want to subtract. So stack them and subtract them. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully you have worked hard and done a wonderful job on this one. And the test on this topic is Tuesday. So hopefully you will have done all the lessons and kind of have an understanding of mass and capacity within the metric system. I am going to make a video of myself reading the math test, and I'll give some great hints, and I'll hold up some little gizmos so that you can have something to picture in your mind about what the mass or the capacity is of a certain object. So have a great day, and we will see you later, alligator.